Play.
We have one preview for the semi-final between Alexander Zverev and Yannick Sinner already out in the vault, so do please check that out. But Carson and I are here to have a look towards Alcaraz against Vacherot. I guess Alcaraz being in the semi-final, Carson, is no surprise, right?
No, I mean, I feel like we expect this. Whether that says a lot about him and his level. Like, even after the Sunshine Double wasn't maybe his best stretch of tennis, but I mean, we're back on clay. So I don't know. It feels right to have him here in the semifinals at Monte Carlo.
It does. Does that Miami, particularly the Miami loss to Sebi Korda, does that? I was thinking about that today as he was demolishing Bublik, and I was thinking about that one loss in particular, and then I thought back to Goffin last year as well, and I know there's a different nature to those, but I couldn't help but reflect on those two losses and seeing this spell that Alcaraz had last summer in the European summer, and just thinking, you know what? Maybe that Sebi Korda loss doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I don't think it matters a ton. If anything, maybe a little bit of motivation. I mean, last year he loses, as you said, to Goffin in Miami. Then, I mean, he lost like one match, it felt like, over the next 3 months.
Yeah. And even that one match, Carson, there's a bit of an asterisk. I mean, Rune definitely won the title in Barcelona, but he was kind of injured in that final, wasn't he?
Yeah. And, I mean, props to Holger Rune for that match. But, yeah, he ended up turning around and winning Monte Carlo. So against Musetti, who wasn't top 10, borderline top 5 level yet. But, I don't know. This feels... Yeah, Miami kind of feels to me like it's just like one small blip on the radar for him right now. Maybe been a couple of matchup issues there in the past, but yeah, I don't think it's much of a surprise for him to be here. He's looked commanding all tournament. Match against Bublik today was, I mean, absolutely dominating.
It was, but Carson, I didn't see really much of the second set. I know you and I were honing in on a match in Linz at the time. But I didn't see a lot of the second set. I saw the first set, and actually, it was 6-3, and I think there were 3 breaks for Alcaraz and just 1 for Bublik, so it sounds quite a dominant set. But it really wasn't the case because Alcaraz gets the break, Bublik breaks back. It feels quite tight, and okay, Alcaraz breaks for 4-3, and yeah, that's significant. And then he holds, but then you're thinking it's still just the one break, but then something happened and a capitulation to some extent of Bublik in the second set.
Yeah, which maybe is a bigger conversation about Bublik than Alcaraz, maybe.
Maybe.
And his own level of belief against the top players in the sport right now. So just has been a good tournament for him overall. Like, I don't think that he's never really been threatened, I feel like, at any point. Like, you
didn't think against Echeverri that Alcaraz was ever in any? Because I mean, I saw that Alcaraz Echeverri match and didn't feel as though the third set was likely to go any other way.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one break in the second set, so maybe longer than Alcaraz wanted it to be, for sure. But I mean, Echeverri is one of these players, especially on clay. He has his moments of being very, very good. So I'm not shocked that he's able to win a set necessarily. I think I picked Alcaraz in straights for that one, but Alcaraz winning that match kind of feels par for the course.
What about Vacherot? What about Vacherot right now, Carson? I mean, this is an incredible spell of tennis we're seeing from Shanghai all the way through here too. Like, as soon as we see Vacherot on most surfaces in most conditions, we go, oh, that's going to be a tricky match. And often it turns out to be the case. I guess his win over for Musetti maybe in some ways define his tournament. We're not quite sure where Musetti is at right now in terms of his comeback to full health after his injury that he incurred against Djokovic in Australia. But nevertheless, the 3-set win over De Minaur today just cements his place as being this is a big shot guy. This is a top 20 player in the world. And
name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
I should unmute myself. That'd be a good way to get this watch along started. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the second semifinal of this Monte Carlo here. Carlos Alcaraz, #1 seed, defending champion, is taking on Valentin Vacherot in his home tournament for Vacherot. First time he's gotten past the round of 32 here in Monte Carlo, and this is his first time making semifinals anywhere since he won Shanghai last fall. Should be a good match. Just saw some previews before this of John and I, so got a feel for where I'm going with this already. Feel like Alcaraz in straights is the smart prediction to do. Not a very bold one. Video poll in the chat. So hit that up if you think Alcaraz is going to win, or if you think Vacherot pulls the upset today. Jump in the comments as well. Let us know. Well, let me know what you think is going to happen. Should be joined by Tom very shortly here. Vacherot serving to begin this match. I think a couple of points for him so far. It's 40 love. Good return from Alcaraz on the serve. Vacherot puts the ball into the net. 40-15 here. His serve. Vacherot goes out wide with it. Let's open up the court. Got a backhand rally going right now. Alcaraz pulls it just wide. Vacherot takes game one. Lots of aggressive ball striking from Vacherot in this game to open up the match. That's his style. He's going to hit big. He's going to hit hard. He's got a really nice serve. It is the foundation of this game that he works around. I've been impressed with his returning so far this week. We'll see how he's able to handle the Alcaraz serve for the first time in just a moment. But hitting well really hard, it's going to be the path forward for him today. Alcaraz serving now, goes down the tee on this serve, going into a bit of a backhand exchange. Playing through center of the court though. Alcaraz is able to pull Vacherot out wide to the deuce side. Vacherot hits a forehand long. 15 love. Here's a drop shot from Carlos on this point. Not quite good enough to finish the point, but yeah, this is just really good point construction from him. Drop shot didn't get the job done. Vacherot able to get to it. Nice offensive lob from Alcaraz. Vacherot pushes it back, but Alcaraz with another dropper. 30 love. Nice sports and politics. Good to have you along with us for this watch along. We've got a few people in the poll that looking for Vacherot to pull the upset here. Love to know if anyone's taking Vacherot in straight sets. Go ahead and drop a comment if you are. $30.15. $40.15. We'll get to this question in just a second here. All right, Alcaraz holds. So these two are essentially level on points right now. So currently in the live rankings, Jannik Sinner is number 1 again. Alcaraz at number 2. That will flip if Alcaraz is able to win this match and make the final. And if they meet in the final, well, we're at the point. If Alcaraz does not win the title, Sinner will be number 1 next week. Alcaraz's only path to maintaining number 1 is to win the title. And if Alcaraz were to defend the title, I would give him something like a 200-point advantage in the rankings. If Sinner, so if Alcaraz were to win this match, make it to the final, and then Sinner wins the final, it would give Sinner something like a 150-point lead. So with both of them advancing this far in the tournament, essentially it seems like the final match could be for the number 1 ranking as well as the first time we see them play each other this year. It'll be a very exciting match. We for sure will be covering that on the channel tomorrow. It's around this time, I believe. So subscribe if you haven't already. Join us for that. 15:30 is Vacherot's service game right now. Alcaraz starting to put some pressure on him. Alcaraz sprays a forehand wide there, so 30 all. It's a really nice serve down the tee from Vacherot. Ace from him. First of the match. It's 40-30. So this poll very heavily leaning towards Alcaraz. Not sure that's surprising. My math is correct. That means 5 people voting for Vacherot of the 54 that have voted. I think that's correct. All right, so we're at deuce now. serve a bit off target. Good return from Carlos, settling into a backhand rally here. Alcaraz changes to the forehand. Yeah, great offense from him. In that second serve. Missed forehand there from Vacherot. It's a break point now for Alcaraz. Trying to jump to an early lead in this my final match. First serve goes into the net. All right, bit of a sitter from Vacherot. Alcaraz runs up to it, easily gets to it. Smashes the forehand volley away. It's break. 2-1 for the Spaniard. Yeah, Alcaraz incoming. Might be. Plenty of people are predicting it. There's one needs to be on his game, but he seems like he's turned up for this one so far. And yeah, it would be their first meeting since the ATP finals. I'm a bit surprised that we've gotten this far into the calendar without the meeting. That's the thing with them being number 1 and number 2 in the world. They're never going to be on the same side of the draw. So you have to reach the final, and as great as these two are, there are plenty of players that can beat them in a one-off match, as we have seen over the previous few months. Some nice shots of the stadium at Monte Carlo. Right off of the coast. And you can see that head there. Just went away. You don't need to put that back up. Or you can. Yeah, but 10-6 in favor of Alcaraz. So got a changeover here. And also if you're in the US like me, watching this on Tennis Channel, so let's see that Yannick Sinner is in studio right now. Really solid 6-1, 6-4 victory over Zverev earlier today to reach the final in Monte Carlo. That's a slow 15 here. Alcaraz serving. Decent dropper from him. So it's 15-all here. Vacherot seems like he's moving pretty well so far today. He's been quick to get up to the net on a couple of these drop shots. Not much that he can do on that one once Carlos gets the volley on the second hit, so. That's such a good forehand from Carlos. Just rifles it down the line. No one was going to get to that one. 30-15. This is a good rally here. Going down with 11 shots, something like that. And Vacherot just hits it little bit wide. That did not miss by a lot. (40-15) game point here. Vacherot, good job to dictate play a little bit more on that point. Really nice return, got him to neutral very quickly. (40-30) now. Misses with this first serve. Alcaraz's first serve has been very good so far. We missed very often. The second serve out wide. Vacherot not able to do much with it. Great offense from Alcaraz. At that point, he holds, consolidates the break 3-1. Is his lead now after 15 minutes. Good start from him so far. See if Vacherot can protect his serve now, this time. He got broken the last time he was serving. It's a good serve. He pushes Carlos back down the baseline. Able to come up to the net, put the ball away. So 15 love here. (30) love. Perez not able to get that return into play, so first couple of points here have been a little bit more straightforward. Vacherot comes into the net, straight off of the serve, and did that make it? It did. 40 love here. Hey Tom, I can see you in there. Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to join in here.
Hi Carson, mate. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
All right. I'm a little bit under the weather, just a wee bit of a chesty cold that I woke up with today. No, all good, all good. I'll struggle through. What's been happening in the tennis? I've just come back from being out. I can see I've got it on now. Alcaraz with a break early in the first set, although Vacherot is looking like he's going to take this game. I think he has. So 3-2. Yeah. What have I missed?
3-2. Alcaraz has been, outside of this game where he just got broken to love, he's been playing well so far on good offensive tennis. Vacherot just had a small blip in his service game. Movement is looking good for him so far. Alcaraz, I think, definitely looks a little more dangerous from the baseline at the moment.
Nice.
But yeah, still early on, just 5 games into this.
And, in terms of this matchup, obviously the Vacherot story, everybody who follows tennis kind of knows it over the last 12 months. I think he was, 2, 5, 6 this time last year. I think live ranking I saw earlier on was 17. So, yeah, is Vacherot the real deal? It's probably my first question in terms of, obviously Alcaraz is a generational talent, world number 1. I'm not trying to compare the two, but, is this a mismatch is probably my question. Is that a better question, or is Vacherot holding his own?
I think I was thinking about this earlier this week. Vacherot, like it kind of seems like he's exiting the stage where like we'll see a player have a good like months long stretch, 2 month long stretch where they'll have a good run. Think about like Alexei Popyrin in Canada and his follow up at Cincinnati and the U.S. Open, where he had some nice runs. Was it like a year and a half ago? So it feels like he's kind of like exiting that phase of like the level of consistency that he has, and it's becoming a little bit more like the run that Chris Eubanks had a couple years ago, where it was a good year and a half. Of really solid
Karatsev. As like Karatsev, do you remember the Australian Open run, and then he was kind of in amongst it for a few months after that? Is it a similar kind of vibe you're getting off Vacherot? Is this somebody who might be around for maybe 12 months or so, and then you might just kind of fade off to the distance, or has he got the ability to be competing in Masters events?
I think that there are things that he does well that could keep him at a higher level. I'm just kind of using like the Eubanks example as like kind of the territory he's more entering into. With like the level of consistency over a more extended period of time. So
I've seen here on the screen that I'm watching it's giving me the stat that Alcaraz has hit 5 forehand winners. I also noticed that he's been going to now. I know Alcaraz loves the drop shot, particularly on clay. He's bringing it back a little bit for me. I kind of felt that was it kind of started to leave his game. I remember when he burst onto the scene maybe like 3-4 years ago. His whole game plan was push his opponent back with the big ground strokes, and then when they're far enough back, just drop shot them, and there was no defence to that. Now, whether or not players over the years have thought of ways to kind of counter that, I noticed, particularly in hard courts, which makes sense. I understand why he doesn't go to it as much. But now we're in the clay season. I've already noticed early in this match. I've been watching a couple of Alcaraz matches this week. Is he pulling out the drop shot? Is it working for him? I did see a point just on the highlights when I came in that Vacherot got to a drop shot, but he played it right back to Alcaraz, who then just finished the point. Is that something that would maybe key for Alcaraz to get through this, or has he got enough in the tank, in terms of just natural ability?
He has thrown a couple of droppers in so far. Vacherot, it feels like he's had good anticipation and feel for when they are coming so far in this match. So he's been able to get up to them, but I don't think Alcaraz has lost a net point yet.
Okay, nice. So it's there's a good chance Alcaraz being a breakup now. There's a good chance that we might see the first Alcaraz-Sinkeraz final or matchup even. I think since the ATP finals last year. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
How I think that'll be what the talk over. Should Alcaraz come through this, that'll be the talk for until the final is these two guys. They've been going through. It's funny how they have been contrasting forms. Alcaraz started the year so strongly. There were questions over Sinner, in terms of a semi-final defeat to Djokovic at the Aussie Open and an early exit in other events that preceded that. And then Alcaraz started falling away, particularly at the hard courts in North America, and of course Sinner had that record where he got the Sunshine Double without losing a set. So when these guys now match in clay, obviously everyone remembers that French Open final. Sinner had championship points and Alcaraz fought back. Where do you, if it does come to fruition, where do you see it being won and lost, Carson?
I think Alcaraz maybe has a bit of a natural advantage on clay.
Yeah.
I think of the three surfaces, this is the one where you could say there's a lean towards Alcaraz. Just his shot versatility is a different level, and just the pace of play accentuates that a little bit for me. So,
Sinner's in terms of ground strokes, just ignore that. In terms of ground stroke, I think Sinner's hitting it as well as I can remember him. He's always been a great. Is there a defence that like that first set against Zverev? Zverev hits the ball hard, but he just can't move about as fast enough for the flatness on the Sinner ground strokes. I just thought he was really, really good, particularly in that first set. I watched What was the match I watched him the other day? And again, he was just hitting the ball flawless. I wonder if there's a bit of scar tissue for Sinner over Alcaraz on the clay, and this is one that he really wants to kind of get a bit of kind of redemption after last year in Roland Garros.
Yeah, and then specifically to this tournament, you throw in the added, provided that Alcaraz does win this match and make it to the final. The title tomorrow will also be for the number one spot in the world. So, a little bit of extra juice.
Yeah, it's always good when that happens, when they are playing for it. One, I think Alcaraz is pretty much just accepted that will happen at some time, given Sinner wasn't playing this time last year, so he'll be gaining points, and Alcaraz had a pretty strong clay season. So Alcaraz has got a lot of points to defend, where Sinner doesn't have any. So I think, I get it. I don't think, for me, that's I think it's just inevitable that Sinner, I suppose he'll want to do it over his biggest rival. I suppose that's probably the carrot at the end of the stick for him. But Sports and Politics is asking, and you might know this, Carson, he was asking if Alcaraz wins, does he keep the number one spot for now then?
Yeah, if Alcaraz wins the title, he will barely hold on to the top spot.
Yeah.
But any result in this tournament other than Alcaraz winning the title, Sinner will be number one on Monday morning.
Yeah. How much do you think these players? I know the number one, it's a big accolade to hold. But I just wonder, you're a tennis player, Carson, are you going after titles rather than the number one position, or are you thinking, the more titles I win, I'm going to be the number one anyway? Is that the kind of main? Like, what do you think these guys are really playing for? Are they playing for the Monte Carlo Masters? Of course, Carlos won it last year. Or are they playing for that number one, I suppose, is my question.
I think it's a little of both. Like, they tie into each other. I think for a lot of them, maybe there's not, a lot of them, frankly, are not going to get a chance to play for number one very often. So I do think for a majority of players, you play for the titles. But I think for these two, and also, it's very, very close in the amount of weeks that they each have been number one. So I think there's a little bit of interpersonal rivalry there as well.
Yeah.
The number one ranking. So obviously winning titles is the best way to get to number one. Do you think that either of them lean one way or the other?
I think just by Carlos' response, I think when you come into the sport, I think early doors you say to yourself, I want to be number one in the world, obviously. Once that's achieved, then it's about, setting targets, winning titles for me. And I think, again, Carlos was pretty gracious when he was asked the question after his first round match. He was like, right, is the incentive here to, win this title so you can stave off Jannik Sinner getting the number one? He was just like, he's going to get this anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you're a tennis player, unless once you've reached that peak, right, I think then you've got to accept that there's always going to be something to try and take your crown. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just, whereas I think they go into, I think you maybe take a wee bit more kind of, you go into the French Open, you think, this is my French Open, I'm the winner. And I suppose, I don't think anyone will reach the heights of Nadal, but I suppose they're going that to themselves, how many French Open titles that I want to end at the end of my career? Do you know what I mean? And so they would go into it that way rather than how many weeks have I been at number one compared to my opponent. But I suppose, I think everyone just wants to be the best at everything. So I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But I think for me, if I was a player, I would probably be going, no, I want titles, accolades. This week thing, you'll probably know it, but see, in terms of say the big three or the big four, I know Djokovic is leading it, but in terms of how many weeks each one was at number one in the world, I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head, and I don't think a lot of kind of tennis fans would. So is it really that kind of, is anyone sitting there arguing over, Novak was 738 weeks compared to, if that makes any sense?
This is a really nice drop shot from Alcaraz here. who's controlling this game. But yeah, I understand what you mean by that. I do think like generally, especially like bigger titles like Grand Slams, we're gonna remember those a little bit more.
Where did you sit, Carson, on the Hussein Alcaraz? Oh, well, Vacherot again came to the net, put it wide. There's been a wee bit of talk about, Carlos's form in Miami and Indian Wells not claiming a title there. In terms of his serve, there was this big hoo-ha about Alcaraz and Ferrero's gone now. There was certainly over the winter period, it seemed like the serve was the main focus. He doesn't win enough 3 points on his serve for somebody who is as talented as he is. Have you seen a big difference in the way he serves? And is that something that maybe he still needs to do a bit of work off compared to maybe Jannik Sinner? The amount of times Jannik Sinner's break point down and he pulls out the big serve to stave off that break point. You know what I mean? He's got that, and I just wonder long term, those 3 points add up and they end up adding up to titles and wins over your biggest rivals. And I just wonder if that's something you think Carlos still has to kind of make tweaks to.
I think that Sinner is a better server than Alcaraz right now. It's something that Alcaraz can continue to improve on. But if you compare his serve now to where it was 18 months ago, 24 months ago, like it's massive difference, I feel.
As an improvement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Okay. Are you a golf fan?
I am. Yeah, I was watching the Masters last night till just after midnight. Quite happy for Rory, although it wasn't somebody I backed pre-tournament. But yeah, hopefully Rory goes and sees it out and makes it 2 in a row. What about yourself?
Yeah, I don't really follow golf at all. But,
oh no!
Yeah,
you've got to follow the Masters. It's well, this one probably wouldn't be the greatest one to follow because it looks like and anything can happen, but it looks like Rory Mac is going to kind of sail. He's got the biggest Masters lead after 36 holes in Masters history.
Yeah, so like what, six or seven shots? Something?
Yeah, 6 shots. He birdied seven of the last 8 holes, including chipping in on the par 4 17th. Sorry, I'm just watching Vacherot. Another game to love was that 4-5. So he chipped in on the 17th after being in a bit of trouble. He was in the trees and then he played up to the edge of the green and then he chipped in. And then you just knew inevitably he was going to go up that 18th. And the ironic thing, and again, I know this is tennis, but he was asked. I don't know if anyone watches golf and watches these post-round press conference, but he was asked afterwards.
I did see his.
Yeah. So because he didn't go to any of the 3 events prior to the Masters, and so I think there was an American journalist who was like, "Why didn't you go to Houston or Valerio?" And he was like, "Just because I don't like those tournaments." And he's like, "Actually, what I was doing is I was like dropping my daughter off at school, and then I was getting a plane up to Augusta, playing a couple of rounds at the course, and then going back and picking her up from school." And I was just like, "What a guy!" So he's played this course so many times, and all the players get a practice round. But it's almost as if he's kind of got that wee edge because he's probably went there and he's went, right, this is the way this plays. This is where I'll put it there. I don't know where the holes will be. Like I don't know where the placement of the flags will be, but if I played it there, so it's probably that experience, that knowledge of the golf course that's given him that edge over the others. So fair play him.
I think there's also an element too of like maybe just a lightness on his shoulders after he's actually won the event now. Like he can approach it a little bit differently. He does have the career slam in golf now. He was able to come through a very tense moment at the end of the tournament last year. So Alcaraz Rory's game, he's great with his irons, he's a great putter, and the fact that he's one of the longest off the tee, so he's got the all-round game to handle the Augusta Challenge, and that's why Fred Couple said on day one, he was like, Rory could probably win this for the next 10 years, like he's just like, because it's now, like you said, like that monkey's off his back,
the pressure's gone. If he wins it, he wins it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And it's just it almost seems like he's free to take chances. Like he hasn't hit a fairway at a par 5 and he's putted them all. Like he hasn't hit a fairway off the tee at a par 5 and he's putted them all. So it just shows that the pressure's off. He's just having fun out there. Anyways, Alcaraz 7 for the first set.
Speaking of having fun, Carlos having some fun out here so far.
Would you think that this would be one of the only? How often do you think Carlos? I remember Miami against Fonseca, but I was thinking this just before I came on. How often do you think that Carlos plays an event where he is he's not the most popular player out there on court?
You see this drop shot?
I just did. What happened there? I was too busy. Let me see the replay.
Watch this replay here.
Something special.
This is very good. Perfect.
And Vacherot's just standing there scratching his head.
Cannot be better than that. I mean, certainly there's not many times where he's not the crowd favorite.
Yeah. But I mean, how do you think? I mean, sometimes that can get to players. Famously, Daniil Medvedev loves to have that love-hate relationship with the crowd. There's some players. I know Novak doesn't really. I think he's got better with age, but throughout kind of history, Novak's always had that kind of. I'll give a bit back to the crowd, and he'll put his cup of his ear and whatnot, and he's famed for his verbals. Carlos is obviously going to be a popular player. He's like the Nadal of the generation. He's just much loved wherever he goes. But it's just been interesting recently. Like I say, he just served that for the first set. So 1 set to Carlos. But he's here in Monaco against the home favourite. He was in Miami against Fonseca. I was thinking he could face Sinner in Rome. Do you know what I mean? Now on the flip side of that, he will have Madrid. If he plays Barcelona, he'll have Barcelona as well. So there isn't I'm not crying me a river for Carlos here. But I just wonder, maybe it's youth. I don't know, but I just wonder if Carlos is one of these guys who might get phased by that at any point in his career, or it's going to be such a rarity that I don't know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, Carlos is used to the crowd being on his side, and he gets to a place where, I don't hear as many cheers for me when I'm doing it. The crowd are all cheering every time maybe I first serve into the net, or I just wonder if he has to kind of maybe just be mindful that could happen, and it might be he's not playing well, and you just don't get it in his own head.
Yeah, I can't think of many instances where it has affected him so far in his career. So, I think he's. It seems like his mindset is he'll just kind of take it and try to put on a show. He's not necessarily someone I think of Daniil Medvedev, who can absolutely feed off the crowd in those moments and can turn it into an extra boost of motivation. I don't know that Carlos has that necessarily, but I don't know that it affects him a great amount.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. But like I say, is that youth? Is that maybe just the kind of the innocence of youth? Not caring what other people think right now, and then maybe as he gets older, he might start to. But hopefully not. Where do we see this second set then going, Carson? Vacherot's put up a good fight. He has been down before. He was 4-love up against Hubie Hurkacz, and then lost that set and fought back. This is a different proposition now, though. You've got the world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz, defending champion, French Open champion, loves the clay, playing well, looking to kind of get himself back amongst the titles after a sticky wee 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Is this one where you think he'll keep on fighting on? Could you see Carlos maybe taking it 6-1, 6-2?
I mean, my prediction before match was Alcaraz in straight sets. So, I mean, I don't really see a reason to come off of that to this point. But, I said in the preview with John yesterday, it wouldn't surprise me. And what's going on here? Video wall was still playing during the points.
Served, and then it came up saying ace in the background, I think, on the...
Yeah.
So that's been classed as a hindrance. So I think he'll be serving again first serve.
Yeah, I think we're just replaying points.
We're at the juice court, aren't we? Yeah, yes. He's facing Alcaraz in the juice court.
Yeah.
So it's just restart the game. He's played the exact same serve, and this time it is an ace. So the irony is Austin anyone. Tennis and its quirks.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what we were speaking about. We were saying there that you didn't think anything was going to change your mind in terms of. Again, I'll go back to Vacherot then. Say he goes out here. We've got a clay season ahead. We've seen he can play on the clay by reaching the semi-finals. Obviously, everyone knows the Shanghai story from last year and beating Djokovic and playing Rinderknech's cousin. Vacherot, say for the rest of the clay season, is this guy basically is this guy got another big title in him, or is this just going to be kind of one of those stories like you mentioned earlier? Maybe just a purple patch through a maybe 18-month period of a career that then kind of fades into the distance.
I mean, I don't necessarily know what to expect. Like, clay historically is not his best surface. At all.
Did you expect this run to the semi-final?
I didn't. I thought De Minaur would beat him yesterday. I mean, Hurkacz was going to be a tough matchup. He faced Musetti in the round of 32, which, I mean, I don't think any of us really know where Musetti is at with his health right now. So that's but I mean, that's a top 5 player in the world.
Yeah.
Now you have to play very early on. So I didn't expect this run from him. And I mean, clay historically has not been where he has been at his best. He's looked very good this week, but it is one of those things, like, you wonder how much of this is home crowd support and just like extra motivation that you have from that, and how much is you've actually found something that works on clay.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the way he's trying to approach this, Vacherot. Like, he's went for the serve volley there. But Alcaraz is just like, he's too smart for that. He's too quick for that. He knows where he picks his spots. I've seen that happen a couple of times in this match where Vacherot's tried the serve volley and it just hasn't come off. Yeah,
Alcaraz is quick enough, and a clay court is just slow enough that it doesn't work the same as on grass.
Yeah, it's not gonna spin away when it hits the surface. So Vacherot was 30 all. We're at 40-30 now, and he did come to the net and put away a volley there after a 5 or 6 shot rally. What's your tennis plans this summer, Carson? Are you going to any of the events coming up?
I might try to go to Cincinnati. I haven't been to Cincinnati before. How many years? I've been to the U.S. Open the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So, but it's I'm thinking about skipping this year. It's becoming very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And
it's all the money.
Yeah, I mean, first round and second round grounds passes last year were like $300.
Wow.
Which, it's insane. And I mean, most of that is the resale market, not necessarily the face value price of the ticket. But I mean, with the way our ticketing system works, you just set up buy a lot of tickets online and then resell them way above face value. So thinking I might skip that. Also trying to save up for, I'm thinking about potentially going to Australia next winter.
I'd love that. That's one tennis dream. One day I will get there. That's the tennis dream for me. We'll see how the summer goes. I might try and see if I can just blag on the day Wimbledon tickets. Head down to London for a week or a few days. Yeah. I'm obviously up here in Scotland. So I'll just take it as it comes. But
have you ever been to Wimbledon, Queens, Eastbourne?
No. The best I've been is to just the localized the M events in Glasgow. They played at a wee stadium here. So Heather Watson and whatnot were there one time, so I went along and watched that. That's as far as I've gone. But every year I sit there I'll be sitting here next year watching Monte Carlo, going, right, next year I'm going to Monte Carlo, man.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely brilliant. But then I'll probably not do it. So I need to get what we say is my bum off the seat and actually just go ahead and just try and start doing these things. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just talking about them. But I've got a busy summer coming up, so we'll see. So it's Vacherot. The last game went to Juice, didn't it? But Alcaraz has won the first point in the second game of the second set. He's won the second as well.
Not a great return from Vacherot on that point.
Yeah, it seems like he's not really got to grips with the Carlos serve, and that. So I'm kind of just looking ahead to say, like, what would Sinner be doing differently? Well, he'll be returning to the Alcaraz feet. Has Alcaraz got enough kind of power behind that serve to kind of try and knock Yannick off his stride and get him thinking? I don't know. Like, I do see improvements, like you said. I do think it's still lacking a bit of punch. It's probably the best term for it. Okay, is this drop shot again?
Yeah, this is a very nice slice from him.
I just wonder, because I just caught the end of Vacherot stop running, and I'm like, what's going on there? Let's see it. Forehand to the. Oh, he's just done a backhand. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. That's actually even more beautiful than the first one. Look at this spin on that. So just for anyone who's not watching, maybe just listening, Alcaraz has just done it wasn't a volley. It was almost like this backhand spinny. He's just tried it with the forehand as well, and this time he went long. Just this backhand spinny cross between a drop shot and a ground stroke. It was absolutely art. And he just tried it again with a forehand, but it didn't come off. So 40-15. I'm liking his kit though. I like the matching blue with the black shorts. I was thinking about that.
It does look good. Blue is always a nice contrast with clay.
With the clay, yeah, I like it. It's became a thing though, hasn't it? Like, it's now like people will release their French Open outfits like 2 weeks before the event. It's like, oh, this is Alcaraz's. I remember Nadal always did it. This is what Nadal was going to be wearing for the French Open. You're just like, when did this become like this is the specific outfit that they're going to be wearing for the 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm sure it's like in contracts to get like a couple of options, and it's like you've got like these 2 or 3 different kits that you can use.
But the amount of money. I'm sure Calvin Benton talked about this years ago on Tennis Unfiltered about how much money is made from tennis merchandise, because you'll have people watching Carlos now, looking good in the Monte Carlo sun, winning tennis matches, and you'll have young kids going, I want to be that guy, so I want to dress like that guy. So they'll basically be like, Mum and Daddy, how do I buy that? So they'll have, when he's wearing that, they'll have that lined up with Google. So somebody goes, Carlos Alcaraz, blue kit, and it'll come up $300. Right, okay.
Yep. Here you got the blue shirt, black shorts, blue tennis shoes. It does look very good out there, though.
Yeah. So Vacherot 1-0. I've got a feeling he's going to get broken in this game. Just a wee feeling. He looks a wee bit on the tire side.
Mm-hmm. He has played a lot of tennis this week. A lot of 3-setters, but this is the point in the first set where he got broken.
Yeah.
At 1-1, so.
And straight away on the +1, second serve out wide. Carlos, fairly tame return, and they had plenty of time to pick his spot, Vacherot. And he tried to play a forehand down the line and just went straight into the net. I mean, it wasn't even like close. It was halfway up the net, and that's what I mean. He does look like he's wavering a little bit. Backhand by Carlos. Surely he's going to be put away by Vacherot. Carlos gets it back though, but it's gone long. So well played.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's. I can't hear the commentary or the sound, but the camera keeps cutting to a lot of the local fans. Is it Manakins? You call them Manakins?
Monesk.
Is that what you said?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. So it's not Manakins. I just totally made that up and tried to get away with it. Carlos forehand winner.
I do think it will be interesting to, you mentioned this, but tracking Vacherot's stamina here in this set. mean, he's played 3-setters this week against Juan Manuel Cerundolo, Hubie Hurkacz, and Alex de Minaur, and then also had the tough 2-setter against Musetti.
Yeah.
So he's been on court a lot this week.
And I assume the longest match was Hurkacz?
I think it was.
He's just put a forehand that he should have put away. He's put that wide. I've got a feeling this could be a 6-1 set. Right, I'm calling it early. It's not what I want to see, but he's looking very disheartened right now.
Mm-hmm. We're 50 minutes into this. Alcaraz has 2 break points to jump a break ahead in the second set. Very big moment right now for Vacherot.
Yeah, he's on a second serve. He's just put it wide. First serve, that is. Alcaraz, deep return. Big looping ball. Oh, Alcaraz should have probably put that one away. Backhand into the net. He puts that looping ball so he can try and set up for the second return, but yeah. Still got another chance. John's saying, well, it's a football reference, but John's saying the Argentina away top Alcaraz as well. Yeah, I can see it. 1986. Okay, we're on a second serve. I think the first serve down the tee. Still finding it really hard to notice the ball in these clay courts. I know Madrid's coming up as well, and that's usually worse.
Yeah, Madrid can be pretty bad.
Especially that big shadow that comes across the cube. Cuba de Magica.
A good rally going on here.
The drop shot backhand. Vacherot's made it, but he's played it wide, and Carlos Alcaraz breaks serve 2-1. I said to you, I thought it was going to break there.
Yep.
Body language, it was all in the face, all in the eyes.
Yeah, we'll see if he has any fight in him here. The rest of the set. Yeah, he's going to need to find some extra juice. He's going to come back in this one now.
There's plenty of Carlitos fans there. Where did you land on this whole... I saw it during the week. I mean, tennis is a funny... Social media and tennis is just so funny. But then you had this kind of whole controversy about João Fonseca, and it was asked about, where do you rate the forehands, and then, he kind of made a list of whose was the best and where his ranked alongside it. And he said Carlos ahead of Yannick, and then all the Yannick fans were like, oh my God. And then it turned out that basically he hadn't actually said that. The journalist had just made up. Have you seen all this?
Yeah. I mean, the journalist basically made a fake quote.
Yeah.
About it, which, we could have a much longer conversation about the state of journalism or lack thereof in tennis right now.
Well, and it's a very hard world to get into.
Yes.
I'm a journalist by profession. I'm doing more content now in my day job but I used to be a reporter for a newspaper and a radio station here in Glasgow. But my kind of ambition was to try and break into kind of the tennis media side of things, and it just seems like a closed shop sometimes.
Yeah, the ATP tour especially, not that the WTA tour is great, but the ATP makes it very difficult to break into that world. So there's but I mean, as a reporter, you can't.
You can't make up quotes like it's.
No.
There's a guy on Twitter that I follow, and there was a stat from the PSG Liverpool match in the Champions League the other night, and this journalist quoted a stat that related to Tottenham Hotspur, and then because of his stat, other people, like actual media companies like Prime Video and like a few American companies, use this guy's stat and then retweet, put on a fresh tweet saying this thing, and the original journalist who done it went absolutely mental, tonto. He started going, oh, that's plagiarism and all that. Now, I can see his point. He's frustrated that other people have used a stat that he's thought of, right? But a stat is public. It's a stat. Yeah. Plagiarism is more to do with, I created this book, this character, and somebody's stolen that character. That for me is plagiarism. But he was he was arguing with every single person who basically used this tweet.
And also, like, I assume like if they're putting like a screenshot of the tweet up, like at that point you're also giving credit.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone was saying. Was like, would you say this if somebody retweeted or liked your post?
Yeah,
that's not the point. It's been plagiarized. Just gearist.
No, like statistics like that are not inherently intellectual property.
Exactly. But just going back to the ATP thing, like the ATP thing, I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, if I was to kind of take any of their video clips and put it up on my own Twitter feed and say that was a great shot by Andy Murray, they would then go, get this down. Like, and so the thing that baffles me is tennis isn't the number one sport in the world, right? But the whole goal is to get it to more people. Now, the more people for the ATP, the more people who watch, the more money they'll end up making anyway. And it was the fact that they were clamping down and people actually using their video clips to try and promote the sport to people who might not see it that I just couldn't get my head around. Like, why are they being so kind of jobs worth over a 10-second video clip? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're still that way. And it's, I mean, with video, I maybe have a little bit more understanding of that than of like just sharing statistics. That I think that is a little bit different. Vacherot gets the break here, by the way.
Breaks back. Wow. I mean, Carlos, he threw in this kind of off game the other day as well. So hi, Ghosty. Looked like Carlos was crushing dreams. I was about to call it already. I was saying game's done. I thought it was going to be 6-1. Thought Vacherot looked on his beat. But no, well done. Fair play to him. He's bounced back. We're at 2-all. I'm just going to nip and grab a wee drink of water.
Yeah. Good.
Terrified of losing control over the narrative. I get you, Ghost. But the whole point is get people out there talking about tennis, whether it's pro, bad. The more people do it, the more money they'll end up making in the long run. 2 seconds.
Yeah. Insane hold from Vacherot right there. Or break, not a hold. Get back on serve. See if he's able to find a little bit of extra life in this match now. It is 30 love here. But yeah, I think the entire journalism ecospace in tennis is not in a good spot at all. It's very hard to break into. I mean, I think like even for like there's not very many like strictly tennis journalists. It's like just the way that we consume media today. I mean, like Tom, you talked about like kind of a little bit of your journey of going from like a traditional like
local
reporting local structure to like more content creation now. And it does seem like tennis especially has been a little bit slow to catch up to that wave of journalism that is happening.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of, I mean, I was made redundant from the news team and a radio station because there's like one area that they had 2 journalists and I covered another area myself, and they basically there was 5 of us and we all got shifted away, and then the 2 journalists would take over this area, and it was just the streamlining of workforce. And I've always been a bit of a kind of I like making like wee videos and whatnot. So I just thought rather than find another job in journalism, why not use my kind of skill set that I've built in journalism to try and see if I can go into the content creation side of things. And now I do it and I absolutely love it. Folk are always going, you're going to go back into journalism. I said, probably maybe one day, maybe freelance. But I'm quite happy. In terms of work-life balance right now, I love it. Like, you know, I can switch off at 5 o'clock when I leave that office door. Previously, when I was a news reporter, I'd maybe be going interview maybe the First Minister of Scotland the next day, and I'd be sitting there at night trying to have dinner with my missus and kids at the time, and I just couldn't switch off. I'd just be like, right, what am I going to go do? Right, what should I ask him? Right, okay, should I ask him this? Right, I should press him in this. And it just literally was be all I could think about. Whereas now I can just be like, see you later.
Yeah. It's like different when as a reporter, you got to be on when the news is on. Like,
exactly.
Like there's not, life is always happening somewhere. There's something going on. So have to be ready all of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So Vacherot's got in a hold.
He looked pretty good in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it maybe Carlos that's wavering?
Maybe just like a small break in concentration there. I think this service game for him will be important to see where he's at the moment.
Well, it does look like Valentin Vacherot does have it has his tail up a little bit. He does look like he's competing. He's spraying the ball around the court here. It's a decent rally. That's backhand to backhand as they play it now from the ad court. Carlos changes up and runs around to get the forehand in and puts the next forehand down the line. That's perfect. That is Carlos Alcaraz tennis there. I love it.
Yeah, great point from him. Great point construction. Just like incredible timing of knowing when he can run around to the forehand side to like change the angle up, push Vacherot a little bit wider on the court and just open up the line.
Okay, Carlos goes for the drop shot and it's perfect.
Good again.
I think for such a young guy, in terms of when opponents begin to put pressure on him, you rarely see him just kind of fold. I think there was the first set against Djokovic in that 5-set at Wimbledon where he lost 6-love, but you rarely see Carlos unable to basically take the push on him, because my point is Vacherot here. He's obviously stepped up a little bit, thinking, this is my once-in-a-lifetime chance. I'm playing in the semi-finals in Monte Carlo. He's played 2 great games. He's broken 7. He's 1-love in the next one. Carlos is just like, cool. Here's a bit of your own medicine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you seen much of Vacherot's run here in regards to this question?
No, I haven't. I actually haven't. I watched what did I watch? I watched bits of the Massetti one. That was pretty much it. I think. No, there was another match on at the time of maybe the golf came on. I think the golf came on last night when it was Vacherot de Manure. So no, I've not watched tons of it, and that's why I watched a wee video montage that this guy did beforehand. I'm still trying to work out what his kind of game is, but he must be doing something right in terms of. I think the way I look at him right now is maybe a wee bit swashbuckling. He's just like all action. He's probably not the best in the eye, the easiest on the eye in terms of his tennis, but he's grinding out results. He's getting. There's nothing flashy about him. It's probably my point. Is Alcaraz just got that long? Oh, he has got that long.
Yeah, he's got that.
What a game of tennis that was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vacherot, the serve is his big thing.
Is it?
Yeah. A pretty big serve. I think
quite flat in it.
I'm trying to remember his 50 is ATP that performance rating that they do, out of 10 on his serve. I think over the last 50 weeks it's been an 8.6 or something like that, 8.5. So it's been very good. Serve. It is the basis of his entire game. His return is getting better. It's actually been pretty good this week. Historically, play hasn't been great for him, but his movement has been really solid this week. So he's coming to net a lot, as you can see in this match. He is up there right now. It's been 14 or 15 points. So it's just been some nice variety. And there's also this element of, a year ago he was ranked in the 250s.
Yeah.
He just hasn't played any of these people before. So there's a little bit of an element where he's an unknown quantity.
So tell me again, I didn't watch the Djokovic match in Shanghai, right? I just saw the result. I don't know if you watched it, and if so, how did this guy who was 250 in the world, who obviously was probably a wee bit lower at that point, but how did this ranked outsider beat Novak Djokovic in the semi-final of a Masters 1000? Was he just better on the day? Was Djokovic injured? Was he just aging?
Yeah, so that it felt like everyone in Shanghai was dealing with the very hot weather at the time, and towards the end of the season, that's going to adversely affect a lot of people. So, yeah, I felt like there were so many retirements and withdrawals during that tournament, and wasn't like the strongest draw in that match in particular. Novak was definitely dealing with the effects of the heat a little bit, but Vacherot served incredibly on that day. So that was like the big thing that pushed him to victory.
Yeah, and he's serving well here. It's the last 2 points. We were at 15 all. Alcaraz had won the first point of the game to go up 15. But since then, Vacherot's been pretty stringent on the serve. The last two, one's an ace, one's been non-returnables in the sense that Alcaraz put it long. So he's just trying to go down the tee again. He loves that kind of tee serve, body serve, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He's got good pace on it. There's like some good jump on it as well.
Yeah. Trying to go down the line there with a backhand. He's just hit the net, so it's 40-30. Still got game point. If he was to nick this set, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Sinner. Oh my God, who was he playing that won the Mahach? Was it Mahach? Thomas Mahach he played? Yeah. And Sinner raced away like 4-love, 5-love. And then I think Mahach got winner on the board, so it was 6-1 the first set. And then Mahach was 5-2 up, and then he kept just unable to serve it out, and then he won the tiebreak. It's the most amazing set of tennis. You're just like, what is going on here? But my point is, he was so dominant in that first set, and still Mahach, found a way to win that second set. So, I mean, he braked Carlos here again, and he's serving for the second set. So,
I think that's a good hold here. We'll see how the nerves of these two players hold up over the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. Well, he got an opportunity. He has to be in the last 4. That's the way you've got to look at it.
So what is this? He's won 3 of the last 4 games now.
Yeah, what was it? He was 3-1 down, was he? I think it's ever since Ghost came on. Ghost, you're his lucky charm. You came on going, it's Carlos crushing dreams, and ever since you've said that, he's absolutely not been.
Yeah. Let's go taking a set. Keep me updated on that, Ghosty. I want to know what happens in that match.
Oh, there's a Pogba shot.
Yeah.
I think you're on around about the same time as me then, because it seems to be we seem to be in sync here, Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Right, here we go then. Carlos lined up to serve game 8 of the second set. 3-4.
And just misses that first serve. Second, down the tee. Oh, nice forehand from Carlos. Yeah, that's really, really good, but then just misses it wide a little bit.
The crowd are sniffing a bit of blood here.
Yeah, they're getting behind Vacherot.
They want to see more tennis, though. It's,
oh, they do. Thanks for joining us. Any comments? Good to have you with us for this
Hi,
one.
Ahmed. Is it Ahmed?
Yeah, I think so. Ahmed Diaries.
Like and subscribe. We're trying to hit that 30k mark. Vacherot plays one right to Alcaraz's feet. Alcaraz moves well, gets the ball back to Vacherot, who goes wide into the tram lines. 50-0. All right, John. I never said he wasn't. Should I have said hi, Ahmed? You regular? How would I have addressed that any differently than hi, Ahmed? Well, do you know what, Ahmed? It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Alcaraz. I think he thought he had it.
Double.
Is that double? Ah, right, okay. So there we go. He's floating about somewhere, Ghosty.
This is third of the match.
Probably
15:30 here. Definitely an opening.
Yep. Probably watching Is Man United playing today? No, they'll be playing tomorrow against some mints. $15.30. Is it second serve? Did he double fault again? No. Oh no. Sorry, I was. He's not happy now. He's not got a ball ready. Is this the second serve?
Yeah, this is the second serve here. Oh, that's good.
Forehand. Yeah, okay, so he's got that one. Fist pump here from Carlos. He was under a bit of pressure there, had to pull out a bit of a kick serve. And he took that +1 down the line nice and early. Vacherot did get to the ball, but couldn't find the court. This is what I mean, though. These tough times, as Alcaraz got the consistent big serve to win him these couple of points to get him out of this. Because you know something, you would know that Yannick probably does. That's where I see these guys over the long term.
Oh, unfortunate there.
Just mistimed it.
Mm-hmm. He had a chance there to do something with that.
Yeah. Just get Carlos scrambling a little bit on the back foot. Work your way into the point. Maybe take the net there. So we're at 40-30. Gets the first serve in this time. Carlos tries to play the same point. Vacherot's there this time. They're playing cross court with the forehand. Backhand by Alcaraz to the ad court. And Vacherot goes wide with his backhand. And Carlos makes it 4-all now. The pressure moves to Vacherot.
A really good service game there from Carlos to hold on to that one.
Yeah.
A little bit of pressure there for the first time in this match on him.
All three of Alcaraz's double faults have come in the second set. Ghosty, where'd you land on the Alcaraz serve? I think you maybe came on after we'd been speaking about the Alcaraz serve. Just wondered your thought, your take on it. Let us know. So the first point's going to be a huge point here. We're on the second serve with Vacherot. Carlos is sitting miles back, like almost in the shade. But we're now rallied. Carlos looks lively in the baseline, and Vacherot can only find the net.
Yeah, that was a Medvedev type return position from Carlos.
Yeah.
Way back behind the line.
Well, he's obviously recognised that the last service game he couldn't make any couldn't hurt Vacherot at all. He was serving well. I think he is serving better, Vacherot, than he was in the first. Carlos, yeah, you can barely see it on the TV picture. You can barely see Carlos because he's that far back. Just did a kind of scraft block return that went long there. Yeah, guys, we were just talking about, Yannick and Carlos potentially going to see the two of them for the first time since the ATP finals last year, and we were just talking about the differences. And I said, Carlos' serve, I know it's probably improved, but is it where it needs to be right now? Probably not.
This serve from Vacherot just catches the line. 30-15 here.
He's consistent with that first serve, though. He gets it in. Carlos is all about the court. He gets the ball back, though. Oh, Vacherot, what is that? What is that? Oh, Carlos, what is that? He's touched the net. He's touched the net. He's touched the net.
Yeah.
What? I need to see what that shot was.
That was
Oh, he's complaining about something. I'm going to put this up a wee sec. He wants a video review because he doesn't think he's touched the net. Or is this before Vacherot's hit the ball?
I think he thinks that Vacherot's ball, when Alcaraz hit his shot onto the other side of the court, he thinks that it hit the ground, that Vacherot's ball hit the ground first. So this is a review for if it's clean shot or if Vacherot hit the ball into the ground and then it went over the net.
Big moment this. We're on a big point. Tell me she doesn't have to watch it that big telly that you can hardly see.
Hopefully not. Can't see anything on that. But yeah, Ghosty, I agree. That did have a little bit of a weird action, but
I thought it bounced and then he side sliced it. No, he's fine.
I think it's clean. Also, though, if he wants a review on that shot, I think he's supposed to stop the point right away.
Oh my!
He just hit it like with his frame, but. All right, so Vacherot does win the point because he did hit the ball cleanly, and then Carlos touched the net.
Surely Carlos can't be losing to a guy who plays that kind of shot. That was a shot that I haven't played in the tennis court.
Fun moment right there. 40-15 now.
So that was a late there.
So first serve now is out. We'll see a second serve here.
Changed up. He tried to go wide first serve. It was a late. And he's just double faulted. He's still got a game point. Tension here.
Yep, this is double of the match for him.
Is he going to get this next set? If he doesn't get this next serve, expect a very timid second serve if he doesn't get this first serve in. This will be a blast. This will be an absolute rocket. He gets it in. Alcaraz gets it back and he goes long. And when it juice, he doesn't look happy.
Yeah, Ghosty, maybe a little bit of a Medi Draper situation. Yeah, I think, there needs to be some additional clarity from the tours about.
Oh, has he made that?
We got a break point now.
What, did you see that?
Yeah.
He's made that. That is unreal. That'll be, check that one, will be in the Twitter feed soon. Oh my word.
Wow. Break point now for Carlos. What a turn this would be.
This match has just absolutely busted into life in the last 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Good first serve from Vacherot. Carlos.
The drop shot, and he's made it, and he's broken serve, and that is Carlos Alcaraz. Oh, now there's a bit of verbals. I don't know if it was Vacherot maybe speaking to his box. I thought he was maybe saying something to Carlos because of that challenge.
I mean, it certainly does disrupt the flow of the match a little bit. But yeah,
Why though?
he would not be.
He's got. I suppose right. I suppose you're saying he should have challenged straight away, but he's got every right to challenge, surely. But I know what you're saying. So why play the next shot? I suppose if he's running onto that, he should be going like that. Challenge. He's maybe trying to get. Maybe after he's hit the net, he's thinking, right, how can I try and win this point here? Surely there was something wrong with that action.
Alcaraz is going to serve for the match now, coming out of this changeover.
Sorry, just to interrupt, Ghosty, when you say flow of the match, right? It was what, about 90 seconds, 2 minutes? Now, I mean, they sit down for that. Greg will definitely have something. Greg will say Carlos is the worst man in history, worse than Bruno Fernandes, and he should be exiled out of Monte Carlo, never to return. Greg hates Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah,
I've got time for that.
Okay, Carlos. Let's see what you've got. Let's see, the handshake will be interesting if the Team Vacherot do have an issue. We could be very much speculative. We could be doing that journalist and making things up that aren't there. Oh, Carlos has went long with that forehand.
All right, left 15.
What's a good question, Ghosty? Sorry, I missed that. What did I ask a good question? That doesn't sound like me. Carlos, forehand. They're playing from ad court to ad court. Vacherot somehow gets that one back. Ooh. Carlos goes, oh, it's a wee bit all over the place. I don't think Carlos knew what to do there. I think what I've noticed about Vacherot is he's not your traditional player. He's maybe, I don't know if he's maybe got the style and the elegance of maybe other players. You know that way. I don't know how to do this. Like, see if you're playing tennis and you're playing at a certain level and you're playing somebody who's maybe lesser than you, because they're not hitting the ball back as like hard and as flat, it sometimes can disrupt you because you're used to playing the better players who are, you know, hitting it straight to you. And I think maybe Vacherot, because he's like non-traditional, a little bit unorthodox is the word. That's the word, unorthodox. Carlos is maybe sometimes with that shot a minute ago, Vacherot's with that shot a minute ago, Carlos didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that was.
Still in it, you're right enough.
That was a very good guess from Vacherot on that one. Got a little bit lucky, but you do need some luck sometimes in these moments. 15
so again,
30 now. Again,
Carlos is filling himself in a bit of trouble. That he needs to, if he had a big weapon on the serve, you're three big serves away for the next round, the final. That's nice.
This is a great +1 point from Carlos.
If Carlos can play that point all the time, go for it. Serves out wide, block return, puts away the +1. To be fair, Vacherot got it. Okay. No, I agree, Ghost. I totally agree. The unorthodox style, I'd much prefer this than a boring Yannick Sinner match. Shit. Oh, should have sworn, but Greg's going to be after me. Can he slag off Yannick Sinner? Like, is it, I mean, Yannick Sinner, Zverev, it's just flat, baseline. Right, here we go, match point.
Match point for Carlos.
Oh, where's he going to go? Down the tee? I think he'll just go into the body. Kick serve.
Opens up the court, drop shot. Vacherot will not get there.
He's out 6-4, 6-4. Carlos Alcaraz. All smiles, hugs and handshakes. Carlos has some.
Yeah, seems like a pleasant enough embrace at the net.
Yeah. As John knows, building something up that's not there. So we have the first Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner match of 2026. Carlos applauds the crowd. They still love him, even though they've just beaten the local lad.
Yeah, first Synchronous final of the year. Been waiting for this one for a while.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but it's good to have it finally. Monte Carlo isn't necessarily where I would have predicted that they would meet. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. Both of them have been playing well so far, and I think both of them have at times shown moments of vulnerability this week. So I think it's going to be a really interesting match to see who comes out on top tomorrow.
Do you think a point was made before this one that Vacherot's actually played all his matches leading up to this at night, and this was the first time he was during the day. Now, with these finals, a lot of the time when it's just a Masters 1000 or whatever, they are played during the day. So Monte Carlo, that'll be probably about this time tomorrow. Do you think that'll have any kind of bearing on the clash of styles? In terms of the heat and the hard and fast nature of the court. The court will be a little bit hot.
Yeah, it might. I think that's mitigated on clay a little bit, certainly compared to hard courts. But I think, Carlos and Jannik have both played matches earlier on in the day there, so I think they're prepared for the conditions. I'm not entirely sure who it benefits more to have a match during the day on clay. Who do you think it benefits?
I'll say Carlos purely for the reason is I still have questions over Jannik and the heat and the cramps, and there was that moment in the match where he looked like he was going to vomit. I think the heat. Listen, he's as we would say, he's a purely skinned boy. Jannik, he's red haired. I'm not saying that it's a major factor, but we've seen in the past heat, cramps for both of these players. By the way, I remember Carlos at the French Open semi-finals against Djokovic. That he put that down to nerves rather than the heat, but yeah, I think just in terms of that, there's still probably there's a mild questions on Jannik Sinner and the heat and the nerves and the kind of the moment that what they're playing for. They're playing for the number one, they're playing for the Masters title, but they're playing for their own rivalry. As you can see there, Carlos with 10-6 lead. It had up until the ATP finals, which was indoor, which is Carlos's probably least favourite setup. He kind of showed Jannik Sinner who was boss a little bit in the US Open final on the hard court. We had the French Open last year. Did they not play? What they played? Did they play in Rome last year? Was it Madrid where Jannik took the first set?
Rome was Carlos won 7-6, 6-1. It was Jannik's first.
Take one of them and he took the first set, and then I'm just trying to see what John's doing now. Clay, where are you going, John? Maybe I've made that totally up. Maybe I made it up. I thought there was a final where Jannik won the first set and then Carlos won the next two. So listen, it's going to be exciting. It's what we've been all waiting for. I think it needed I needed that wee break. I think there was a period of time last year where folk were now getting a wee bit bored of them two, reaching every single final and playing each other, particularly in the majors. But I think it's the right time now to get these two guys back together. Can't say either one of them is looking like they've got any weaknesses. I'd say maybe Carlos has been pushed, maybe, in terms of, there's only one. I mean, we all know the Sinner record. He's lost one set in the last like 40 or 30 or something like that in terms of Masters 1000s. He's definitely bounced back from that kind of slow start to the year. I don't think there'll be either one of them you could say is fresher. Carlos obviously had earlier exits in North America. So I'm going to go just from a fanboy point of view. I'm going to go for Carlos Alcaraz to win it. I think it'll be in 3. And I just think, in terms of fitness and ability to cope with the warm Monte Carlo conditions by the sea, I'll go Carlos Alcaraz 6-3 in the third set. How about that?
Yeah, I don't hate that prediction at all. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Jannik Sinner is able to handle Carlos on clay. Obviously, the first time that they've played on clay and since the Roland Garros final now. So maybe like it won't be the main indicator, but maybe the first time we'll see if there's a little bit of scar tissue there on clay at all. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see how Alcaraz is able to return against Jannik Sinner. I think that's going to be maybe. Is that
like you think Jannik serves maybe stepped up a notch recently?
I think so. Like he's been. I mean, you think about Indian Wells, Miami specifically. He's been serving absolutely insane. So, and it is interesting. Like in spite of the fact that one is a hard court and one is clay, Miami and Monte Carlo conditions. There's similarities between the two when it comes to heat, humidity. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see if Alcaraz is able to, what type of pressure is he able to get into the Jannik Sinner serve? Is it going to be consistent? Is it going to be a match where he has 1 or 2 moments and he has to take advantage? Or is Jannik going to be able to just serve him really well and have a great serving day? So I think I'm leaning towards Jannik Sinner in 3 sets.
I like it.
I think.
And do you think in terms of the drop shot, we spoke about it during the match about Carlos using it against Vacherot, but in terms of the drop shot, this is a weapon that maybe Carlos can use. Now I've actually noticed that Jannik uses it quite a lot again on the clay, like in the 2 matches that I've watched him in Monte Carlo. He's used the drop shot that that sliced forehand, cross court, inside out drop shot. He's used it a couple of times, and I just wonder that's an anticipation, that they might have a kind of, because Carlos is obviously renowned for those drop shots. He throws in 2 or 3 every match on the clay, particularly. Just wonder if that's an extra. So if you say, well, Jannik's got the stronger serve, and I could go, right, okay, he does that. So the points that he wins on the stronger serve, Carlos can maybe try and win. His plus point is these drop shots. Is Jannik fast enough to get them though?
I mean, I think Jannik is quicker than anyone that Carlos has played in this tournament so far. Like, I think his movement is a different level above. Not that it's necessarily the level of a De Minaur or Tommy Paul necessarily, but I do think he's going to be able to get to some balls a little bit easier than Vacherot was able to do today. Sure. I think just like with the amount of times they played each other, like Sinner is going to have that anticipation as well. Like he'll be able to sense a couple of moments where it's like, okay, drop shot is about to come right here. I need to position myself. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a really interesting match. Like, would not be surprised by either of them winning in straight sets or in 3. Like, I'm not sure that there's a result that surprises me necessarily. Absolutely. I mean, if one of them like double bagels the other, like that would be surprising. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, listen, fingers crossed we get a good match, and so Carlos is going for Jannik in the 3rd, and I've went for Carlos in 3 as well. So whatever happens, I'm sure it'll be a good one. But Carlson, listen, mate, it's been an absolute joy to spend the last hour or so with you, mate, and I'm sure I'll speak to you and do a stream with you again soon. All right.
Absolutely. That's been a great time. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll be covering lots more tennis. Obviously, the final tomorrow. Yeah, there's a good tennis in Stuttgart coming up on the WTA side next week, and then obviously got 1,000 tournaments in Madrid and Rome. So lots of good tennis as we're on to the clay court season now. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
See you later. Cheers, Carson.
Use well time.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that